How's it going? I am your host, Matthew Jacobson. I am here with Sam Murphy, one of the star players for the ASU women's team. Sam, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you, Matthew?
I am just busy, just constantly.
Yeah, end of
So,
year grind.
I want to jump right into this one. I want to catch you off guard a little bit. So the season starts off with a pretty tough loss in the first game. I know you guys have some history with Maryville, and
Mhm.
then you guys turn that into a 10-game winning streak. What was like, the leadership? What was the mindset? What was the messaging in the locker room that turned that rough first game into a 10-game streak?
Yeah, our loss to Maryville for the season opener was our first loss, like our first season opening loss in program history. So we have never lost a home opener within the, I think, 10 years we've been a program.
Mhm.
So it was kind of a little bit of a rude awakening for us to um, start off the season against a highly ranked team and then lose to them. So that kind of left a little bit of a sour taste in our mouth, um, especially with our history from nationals last year with them. So that kind of lit a fire under our butts to beat them the next day. And then going into league play, we know how important it is to win our league to solidify a spot in nationals. So we go into every league game with a lot of intensity and with a big desire to win. So that kind of helped us kind of pave the way for those 10-game winning streak that we've been on.
It's ridiculous because also looking at the standings real quick, it's an 8 point lead you have over University of Denver in the WWCHL. It's a pretty solid solid lead in the division. You guys aiming for another division championship this year, or?
Absolutely. There's a lot of pride in being the defending playoff champions. CU Boulder did it, and it made us just want to beat them that much more. And it's fun this year seeing us kind of run away from the competition in our own league. So being able to have the opportunity to not only defend our playoff champion title, but also as of last weekend, defend our Cactus Cup title. It's really fun. It's exciting just to go into league games knowing that we are the team to beat in this league.
Speaking of that Cactus Cup, what can you give anyone listening, because even I'm not too educated on this, what is the Cactus Cup?
So the Cactus Cup is the Best of Arizona series. It's a 5-game series that started last year against GCU. And I believe next year we're going to switch it over to U of A because their first year as a team is going to be next year. But it's just a 5-game series, Best of Arizona. The 2 Arizona schools compete for it. Last year we won it in 5. This year we won it in 3.
So is it going to be a 3-team tournament next year, or is it just going to be you guys and U of A?
I think it's going to be us and U of A just to honor ASU's traditional rivalry against U of A. That's what the men's ACHA team does. They have the Cactus Cup against U of A. So I think we're going to kind of follow in their footsteps and switch it over to U of A.
So pretty much just the Ice Territorial Cup. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that weekend, on November 11th, you actually had hit a milestone for the program. You tied Kat Jones at all-time points with 75. What's your reaction to that? And kind of obviously, we look at stats as media and fans look at stats. Were you kind of taking a look at that, or did it kind of sneak up on you?
Um, it kind of snuck up on me. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't kind of chasing it since the start of this season. I knew that that milestone was there. I knew the number I had to reach. Um, so it snuck up on me in the sense that it came faster than I thought it would. Um, but I was chasing it and I did have the goal to reach that. It was really exciting though to have my name up there with Kat's name. All the things she did for this program are I can't even list all of them because she helped grow this program from being a 15 skater team who was getting blown out 10-0 every game to a national contending hockey team. She was a great leader for this program. Uh, she was my first captain in college hockey. When I came in as a freshman, she was just kind of the player that I looked up to. I knew that she was kind of the legend for ASU women's hockey. So it was really cool to play alongside her and now have my name up there with hers.
It's funny. In a couple of years, we're gonna have a young woman over here talking about you in the exact same regard. So it's just weird how the cycle goes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool to know that eventually that's going to happen. And hopefully I get to play with that player who will eventually surpass me. But it's really exciting and it's such an honor.
Just for fun, out of the current roster right now, current players in the team, you think you got a name in particular you think might be the next one, or just kind of up in the air?
I'm seeing a lot of really good stuff out of Paige Ring. I think that in her 4 years, she's going to get a ton of points and do a bunch of stuff for this program. Also, Sydney Paulson, although she is a senior this year, she is really running away with points right now. She's my line mate. So anytime one of us gets a point, the other one always ends up getting some sort of assist on it. So I can see her catching up to me, and Paige Ring definitely.
It's funny you mentioned that. I actually have the team stats right here, and a good portion of players are at least at a point per game right now. You mentioned Sydney Paulson in 11 games has 15 points. Yourself with one less point. Anita Fleming has 11 points in 11 games. A little bit further down, like Tristan Craig's one below, and Maddie Pladson. I apologize. I'm slow at reading. Maddie Pladson's at
Okay.
10 points in 10 games.
Mhm.
The production. So last year, obviously Mason was head and shoulders above in terms of goal production.
Mhm.
It's interesting to see how kind of the entire team is almost neck and neck in a way, but the production seems up overall. It's obviously it sucks to lose a leader in the locker room, but when you subtract a leader, does everyone else kind of come together and try to gel a little more?
Yeah, I think that with the loss of Mason on the roster, obviously being a huge cut into our team, he was a leader on and off the ice, just was a player that everyone could look up to. It gives a lot of the returners and even the rookies on the team a big hole to fill, knowing that there is such a presence on the ice that's missing now, such a presence in the locker room that's missing now. It gives all of us kind of the inspiration to step up and fill that role. And the leadership group on our team does really foster an environment of inclusivity. We've really hammered into everyone's heads that this is a player-led team. So everyone gets an equal opportunity to lead on and off the ice. Lindsay gives us all opportunities to kind of show her what we've got in practice in the locker room. It's just a very open environment for everyone to be able to lead in their own way.
And it definitely seems last year this team was good. I got to follow the team a little more closely last year than this year. It's been a little busier for me. But this team, not only just stat wise in the standings, but the little bits I've got to catch, just seems almost head and shoulders above last year's team.
Mhm.
Do you think it comes down to the team maturing a little bit, a couple extra additions, the coaching, a mix of everything? What's your perspective on that actually being in the locker room?
Yeah, so Lindsay has said multiple times that this is the most skilled hockey team that we've had in program history, which I totally agree. She did some really great recruiting over last year and throughout the summer, grabbing some really awesome players, stealing a couple U Sports girls that we see in Anita Fleming and Brienne Powell. Those were huge additions to our roster, and it helps make everyone better getting to play with kind of high caliber hockey players like that. But I think that we've just kind of started to gel in a way that we haven't in previous years. We're kind of all of the lines are clicking. You can see that on the ice. Obviously, we are 4 lines deep right now. Like there's not a, I wouldn't say that there is a determined best line that we need to rely on to score all our goals like we've seen in previous years.
Mhm.
We know that every single line can score goals, and we've seen that throughout the season. And also just seeing a bunch of different girls get opportunities on power plays and penalty kills to showcase their skill is just giving the team kind of a higher morale and getting us the points that we need, because we have had some issues in past years with scoring goals. Like our playoff loss to CU Boulder my freshman year was a 1-0 hockey game. And it would have been a totally different story if we had this roster back then. We probably would have blown them out just because we have that goal scoring touch this year.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting when you have vets on the team like McKenna, who's a very solid player, playing a little more consistently in that the top nine anchor role, and obviously going up and down a little bit. But it's interesting when you have a deep enough team where you have girls that can play above above one of the leaders in the locker room in terms of production, and then that just helps her add even more depth scoring. It's a really deep team. It's interesting because most people wouldn't probably think of ASU as being a pretty big hockey school, but we're seeing it with the NCAA team. We're seeing it with the women's team right now. It's turning into a very good hockey school right now. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, it's exciting to play for. Like seeing even the addition of the new athletic director is going to give our program probably a fresh set of eyes. I know that the previous athletic director had said that he wanted to make ASU women's hockey the next Division I sport at ASU.
Mhm.
And now with him being gone, there's new opportunities with this new athletic director. And fingers crossed he likes hockey.
Yeah, and speaking of the jump to D1, our last conversation, you said unfortunately it likely is not going to happen in your time with the program. But do you still feel the program's not only on the right track, but maybe a little closer than we think about jumping D1 NCAA?
Definitely, yeah. Like with us being that much better this year, that's really helpful. With the addition of Mullet Arena, very helpful, giving us a actual college hockey rink to play out of that isn't Oceanside.
Hmm.
And hopefully our nationals run kind of proves that we are ready to make that jump. But I'm in no rush. Our first achievement we have to get is winning nationals. So hopefully we get that, and then we can look at the next step.
Sam Murphy, we're bringing home the Natty in
Mhm, mhm.
2023.
This year is our year. Someone has to beat Liberty, and Lindsay keeps saying that she really wants it to be us. So we'll find a way to end their, I think, 5-year winning streak of the ACHA national title, and hopefully bring it back to Arizona.
Well, I mean, the last Natty I think was the D1 men in 2014. So yeah, I think it's time for the ladies to bring it home.
Right? That's what I think too.
And then one last question, so I don't take up too much of your time on this Saturday afternoon. What's it like? Because you did mention Mullet Arena. You got to mention Oceanside very briefly. We were talking about it last time. What's it like to at the start of the season, not a midway jump? You have your new home arena. Kind of does it help you prepare better for games? I know you guys skate much earlier on in the morning than the boys do, but does it help you prepare? Is it a little better than starting out at a different rink and transitioning?
Yeah, having a consistent home arena is always very helpful. I know a lot of hockey players are very dead set on their routines. So having to switch between rinks is kind of difficult for those girls who are very routine based. You're in a different environment, you're in a different locker room, on a different ice sheet. Also, obviously, with Mullet being a newer rink, the ice is better quality compared to Oceanside. That was pretty hard to play on. So having to adjust to the different kind of little things on the ice sheets, like at Oceanside, it was very uneven. Like if you throw the puck along the dasher, it's skipping the entire way down just because the ice wasn't even. So kind of adjusting your play to play for that ice, then moving over to Mullet and adjusting your play to play on better ice is a little bit hard, but with us being college hockey players, it's kind of what we're used to now, playing on different rinks almost every weekend. But it's just nice to have a good rink to play on and have more capacity for fans because Oceanside was pretty tiny. So now having the barn packed at Mullet is really exciting and kind of helps our energy and environment in the rink.
I know I definitely noticed from the first couple of games last year at Oceanside to now playing at Mullet, definitely the skating's a lot faster. I know the ice in general is faster at Mullet, but definitely I kind of what you're talking about with the ice being uneven, but also it kind of felt like pucks would take weird bounces wherever, or skaters
Mhm.
wouldn't necessarily want to go full speed. And I don't blame them because you could see the chips and divots on the ice just with the naked eye.
Yeah, it's hard to play on that ice. It really slows us down as a team. And one of our strengths as a hockey team is our speed. We're one of the fastest teams in our league. I would probably say the fastest in our league.
Mhm.
So playing on a bad ice sheet makes it really difficult to showcase our speed. We saw it in Colorado, I think 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now. CU Boulder's ice was just really soft. Something about it was weird. So it was the pucks were moving slow. It was sticky. Like everyone felt like their legs were heavy on that ice. And in those games, it was a slow start because we had to get used to that and adjust our play to it. So it's kind of the same thing with Oceanside and Mullet.
And you guys are off until January, right? You guys get an entire month month off for games. I think you guys have an
Um,
inter squad tournament and something else going on the 4th and 5th, right?
Yeah, we have all of January, or sorry, almost all of December off and a little bit of January.
Mhm.
Next week we have no practice for Thanksgiving break, so we have a long break of no games. So it's going to be kind of difficult to stay in game playing shape. But our coaches and captains are sending out workouts, sending out stuff for us to do over our breaks so that we stay in shape and ready for some big games in the new year.
I'm excited. Can't wait. Enjoy
I'm
your
excited
break
too.
and bring home the natty this year. Let's go.
Absolutely.